friend. Okay, can you get on camera, or are you not able to? Okay, he's going to get on camera. I'm going to get on camera.
Can you see me? Hello.
Oh, look at Daniel. Daniel looks very nice in his white shirt. Where's my webcam? How come I'm not on here? Oh, here we go. It's just coming up. Just 1 second. There we go. All right. Daniel looks very good. Look how beautifully well lit you are. Daniel is the guy if you ever want anything done on the programming side, which of course, if you're trading these days, it's not even a question, it's a necessity. Everything I'm going to show you tomorrow, all the trading view tools, all of like the MT4 little stuff that we have going on, that's all Daniel's work. I mean, he is a master programming technician. And I, brought him today, not even to hump all the stuff that he did for me, which he did. He's really my go-to guy. I brought him in today because he's got a whole bunch of stuff that he's been working away from me that's maybe even better than anything he's ever created for me. He's going to share with us, and he's got a limited amount of time, so I'm going to just let him talk. He's got 3 very, very cool new indicators that he developed that do amazing stuff. And I'm going to just basically turn over the screen to him, let him run it. And also to let you, of course, know, and everybody can reach Daniel at tradingindicators.com, but if you have something you want coded in TradingView, in MetaTrader 4, in MetaTrader 5, or even in some of the other platforms that exist out there, he's your guy. So, and he's also a really good guy. So, just don't root against the Canadians, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's big things are happening here in Montreal.
Exactly.
I'm German, but I live in Montreal, and the Habs, the hockey team here, has made it to the playoff finals for the first time in 30 years. So
exactly.
This happened yesterday. So the day before yesterday.
He's walking on clouds right now, so we have him at a good time. All right, I'm gonna give you my make you a presenter, and then I'm gonna get off the screen, and if we have questions, we'll ask them afterwards. Go right ahead.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yes, I see it. Just a second. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we see it. We see your the Microsoft. Okay.
Perfect. So you should see my slides now. And the topic today is new indicators to help you trade. And before I start, maybe just a few introductory words. So unlike most of the presenters in this webinar, I'm actually a software engineer, as Boris said, by training. I used to code enterprise software for big corporations. I worked in the back office for Morgan Stanley for several years, but on the IT side of things. And I was teaching even software engineering at the university. So IT was really my go-to place and what I wanted to do out of my career. But it's been perhaps 7-8 years that out of self-interest, I introduced myself to the world of trading. And I started trading, and first through Justin Hertzberg, who's going to be up next, and through some other people who helped me do it. And of course, I made all the mistakes that everybody does at the beginning. I overtraded, I risked too much, I revenge traded, I didn't let go of losers. You name it, I've done it. And then after donating quite a fair share of money to the market, I came to the realization that, wow, trading is hard and I need help. And for me, as a software engineer, help would be found in creating my own tools that would help me in my trading. And this is how the story of Trading Indicators began. So we operate the online store tradingindicators.com, and most of the tools and indicators on the store, they were first created or initially created to help me in my trading. And then I thought, well, if they help me, if I find them useful, perhaps others will find them useful too. And this is the our mission statement behind creating tradingindicators.com. We try to be a bit different than the 80/20 indicator store, as we try to bring a bit of a human touch to the world of trading. We have a multidisciplinary team. We have UX designers, we have software engineers, we have traders. And we all work together. We put our skills together to create what we believe are unique and useful indicators for anyone. So What will I be talking today? And I was very glad to hear Blake talk about it, and also Mary talked about it, that it's very important that you find what is working for you. And guess what? This all comes down to your very personality. Not every trading style matches with every personality. Yeah? So you may be by heart more a counter trend trader, which is more like my style, or perhaps more a trend trader, or perhaps maybe a mix of both. But what you are really comes down to what kind of personality you are and what you're comfortable with. Now we'll talk about this in the beginning. And then I'll introduce our 360 degrees trading plan, where we will offer a particular indicator which will fit to a particular trading personality. Then we're going to do live charting and testing. And then at the end, we're going to have a small promo where we're going to give away free EAs. It's the first time I'm actually doing it. I've created various EAs, expert advisors over the years, but always on request. So it's the first time I'm actually going to give away some of our EAs and to anyone interested in our promo. All right. So, but let me start talking about a little bit of how I trade. So I like to analyze charts a lot, and chart after chart. And what I'd like to do is to go against the trend if there are indications that the current trend may come to an end. It is important to me to get in early, when the odds are stacked in my favor with a very good risk-reward ratio. Naturally, I use a fairly tight stop because chances are the predominant trend will continue after all, and I get stopped out. As a counter trend trader, it is fairly normal to have multiple losers in a row because you get stopped out, because picking a bottom or a top is hard. But when you're right, and when you hit the trend reversal, you're out, or you're on for a bigger payday, which ideally will make up for the losses that you've incurred. So that's my style. My colleague Homa, who's also on our team, she started trading, let's say about a year ago, and I explained my trading style to her, and I told her how I like to go against the trend and so forth. She tried it out, but soon she got discouraged because she was not comfortable of having multiple losers in a row. She was also not comfortable of going against the trend. It did not make sense to her. It did not fit her personality. So this led almost to the fact that Homa stopped trading. And this is because she took over a trading approach which was not fitting to her personality. So why am I saying all this? Well, it's because it is crucial that you use the tools, the indicators, and the trading style that fits your personality, because trading is personal. So before I introduce the different personalities that I think are out there, which are trend, counter trend, and perhaps the opportunistic trader, let me first talk a little bit about what in the hell is even trend trading or counter trend trading. What do I mean by that? So let's have a look at this chart. It shows a daily chart of Apple, and the top and the bottom show the exact same chart. So the same symbol, same price action. On the top here, we have a classic trend entry. So you can see here the predominant trend, the downtrend has come to an end and reversed to an uptrend, which superseded the previous high before the downtrend started. And there's evidence that the uptrend will continue, perhaps by the fact that we're making higher lows. Okay, and once we're convinced, and Blake talked about confluence, once multiple factors come together and we're convinced that the uptrend will continue, we issue a trend entry signal. Of course, at that point, we will not get the best price anymore. Apple has become quite expensive at this point, which is a downside of trend trading. Okay, on the bottom here, we have a classic counter trend entry. A counter trend entry typically happens at the onset, where there's initial evidence that the predominant trend, the current trend, is coming to an end, is fading. So you can see here, we get it much earlier. We're using typically a very narrow stop loss, because chances are the downtrend will continue after all, and this was just a retracement. So we're getting in early, and if we are right, we're getting in at a very good price. As you can see, so much earlier than the trend entry up top here. All right, so this is a little bit the difference between trend and counter trend entry. But as you can see here, from a personality point of view or from a psychological point of view, they're very different. As a trend trader, you must be comfortable of paying a higher price for your trade. And for many traders, that's completely normal. They are comfortable paying more if they trust in the trend and if they trust in their symbol. Oftentimes as a trend trader, you have your favorite set of symbols, probably because you also have a personal association with that symbol. If you're an equity trader, maybe Apple speaks to you because they have innovative products, you may own an iPhone or a Mac and so forth. So you believe in that company, which makes it much easier for you to engage into a trade with that symbol because you're comfortable with it. This is a classic trend setup. As a counter trend trader, which is a bit the opposite of this, it's you must do a lot of analysis. You must believe in the counter trend approach. You must be comfortable with having multiple losers in a row. And if that fits your personality, then counter trend trading may be right for you. Because in that case, you will trade when the odds are stacked, when you have a great risk-reward ratio. You engage in a counter trend trade, and if you are lucky, or if it plays out, I shouldn't say lucky, if it plays out, you're in for a bigger payday, which hopefully will make up for all the small losses you may have occurred before. But you must be comfortable of having multiple losers in a row. If you get nervous because of this, or if you want to revenge trade because of this, then perhaps counter trend trading is not the trading style for you. And of course, like with everything in life, there's also the mix of the both, the opportunistic trader. An opportunistic trader trades when wherever he sees opportunities, be it a trend entry, be it a counter trend entry, or be it perhaps a completely different style of trading, perhaps a breakout trade in a sideways market. As an opportunistic trader, you're open-minded to try out new things, perhaps new symbols, new markets, or new indicators. Okay, so I believe many of us will be perhaps more in this space. But whatever your trading style is, one thing is important. There's no right or wrong with each trading style. What's important is that you find the trading style which matches your personality and you're comfortable with it. Only in that case, you are set up for success. If you're trading against your personality, chances are you will not be comfortable and you may give up. Okay? And with your trading style, there comes also the right indicator that will work for you. And we have created a set of 3 indicators which support these 3 different trading personalities. Our first indicator, and I will introduce these in live charting in just a second, is called 1-3 strike. It's a classic trend indicator. It only issues its signal if there is strong evidence that the trend has been established and will continue. For this, it looks at price action, directionality, looks at volume. Even the FX market tick volume can be used for this purpose. And of course, it looks at volatility. If all these dimensions come together, an entry is issued. For counter trend trading, we have created the Divergence Cloud indicator, which, as the name suggests, looks for divergences. What is a divergence? Well, it's a discrepancy between price action and perhaps an indicator reading like the ATR or the RSI. So they're saying 2 different things. And if this occurs, chances are that the current trend may stop to continue and perhaps reverse. And the Divergence Cloud indicator will point out these discrepancies on your chart. And finally, which is my personal favorite one, we have created an indicator that detects breakouts, and in particular range breakouts. Let's have a look at the chart down here. And we had a fairly tight range with low volatility. Eventually, we have a breakout. And if such a breakout occurs, chances are that the move will continue in the direction of the breakup for some time. So you can see here to the upside or here to the downside. In both cases, we had a relatively tight range and then a breakout occurs. All right, so these are the 3 indicators that we have created. And while it is important to match an indicator to your trading style, it is also important to match an indicator to the type of market we are in. If we are in a trending market, the 1-3 strike indicator will give you really good results. If the market is fading, or if there are a lot of reversals or high volatility in the market, with many reversals, the Divergence Cloud indicator will work really well. And if we are sideways, the volatility crusher, our breakout indicator, will work quite well. All right, so enough theory. Let's have a look at some charts. So I'm gonna pull up MT4. Where is it? All right. Okay. And while I'm demoing these indicators on MT4, I should also say that these are also available for TradingView, for Modify, for NinjaTrader, and for other platforms. Okay. So what do we have here? Here we have a EUR/USD chart on the 15-minute time frame, and on the chart I've already applied our 1, 2, 3 strike indicator, and it's a bit hard to see, but you can see an entry signal down here. Yeah, when the current uptrend has been established and there's evidence that it may continue. So we get an entry signal, and these lines here that you can see, they connect the entry signal with suggested exits. So our indicator not only will help you with an entry, but also suggest when to scale out of your trade. Of course, the number of exits can be configured in the parameters of the indicator. Now, this is an example here. And let me just maybe scroll here. Here we get a short entry, here a long entry with 2 exits and so forth. The look and feel of this indicator can be configured in the parameters. It opened up on a different screen. All right, so this is 1, 2, 3 strike. And if you look at the parameters, you can see there are a few parameters for the logic side. As I said before, our trend indicator looks for 3 confirmations of trend. We need directionality, which is determined by 2 MAs needing to be positioned in the right order. We're looking at volume. We need above average volume, and we need above average volatility. In our case, we measure volatility through the ATR. And this would be the ATR period. So if all these 3 factors come together, an entry signal will be suggested. If these factors starting to fade and they are not in play anymore, an exit will be generated, a suggested exit. How many exits you want at the most can be defined with these parameters down here: long partial exits and short partial exits. Okay, so let me perhaps play around a little bit with these parameters, and let me maybe set the slow MA period to a different value. And as you may see, the signal now has been shifted, I believe, at least a little bit. But this brings up the question: how do I know, and this holds true for any indicator that we may use, how do we know whether a change in the parameters, be it an MA or an RSI or stochastics, how do I know that I have the right parameters and that this set of parameters will give me better signals? Normally, I have no idea. I'm just guessing. I can perhaps browse through the charts and maybe, look at the entries and the exits and get a feeling of how well this parameter change has worked. But there's a better way to do it. And for this, we have introduced what we call instant efficiency technology. So it's not enabled right now, but let me enable it. So I go back to 1, 2, 3 strike, and I will enable instant efficiency statistics. And once done, you will see a little box occurring on the chart, which shows you the efficiency for long and short entries generated by this indicator. Efficiency is not the same as profitability, because this would need to take into account trade size and how much you would take out when you scale out and so forth. It's a measure of how many winners we had versus how many losers. And it differentiates between the long side and the short side. Especially when you're trading equities, you will often see a big discrepancies between these 2 efficiencies, which would indicate that this symbol perhaps has a bias towards the long side, as it is often the case with equities, or towards the short side. Okay. All right. So this instant efficiency technology will update in real time whenever we change the parameters. So let me go back in and keep in mind 71% and 60%. So I go back to our indicators. Let's perhaps change our MA period to something else, maybe, I don't know, 20. I click OK. And as you can see now, the statistics have been changed. In this case, we are less efficient in terms of winners versus losers. As you can see, it's 63, and not 71 anymore, and 60% on the short side. So this will give you an idea of how well the parameters for this indicator has been chosen. The starting point for calculating these statistics is shown here. By default, it's predetermined by the indicator depending on what the time frame of the chart is. Of course, for a minute chart, it's going to be a bit more recent than for a daily chart. Or you can choose it also manually. All right, so this is our trend indicator. Let me now switch over to our second indicator. And in this case, it is applied to the SP500 CDF. And this is our Divergence Cloud indicator. Again, you see this little box up here, which shows the statistics. And all our indicators have this statistics box built in. And you can see, just like with the other indicator, these entry arrows, red ones for shorts and green ones for longs, along with a little bit of shading of the short. So these shadings and the degree of shading indicate divergences. In our case, we use a proprietary form of volatility divergence. Whenever there's indication that we might be in a bullish divergence zone, which is green, or in a reddish divergence zone, along with some other confirming factors, an entry signal will be issued.
Wait,
again,
Dan,
we have, yes?
Dan, sorry, can I stop you right there? Because this divergence thing is interesting. So, for example, that red arrow with a red divergence zone, and is the shading like gets intense, or is it sort of a single? Visually, does it get darker or lighter, or is it?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to see. Normally, there are many more nuances between these shades.
It's supposed to be darker later, right?
It will get darker, yeah.
Okay, so suppose you get a red candle with a deep dark red envelope. Is that a stronger sell signal?
Yes, yes. It means basically when it gets darker, it means on several candles in a row, we had signs for divergence. Multiple times in a row, and they multiply basically.
You need to give stronger confidence that this is a good sell signal.
Yes. So, and in fact, so the indicator prints its own entry signals, but it doesn't have to be used as such. It can also be used just as a filter indicator. Maybe you use already a different trading system, maybe an MA crossover or whatever. Then you could use this color indication here as an additional filter. So you would only go short, for example, if the cloud, that's why the indicator is called Divergence Cloud, would be red, or you would only go long if the cloud would be greenish. So it can be just used as a filter as well. Okay. And finally, actually, let me just say one more thing about this. And do I have like 4 more minutes, Boris?
Yeah, you're good. You have time. You have time.
Okay, perfect. So this is the S&P 500 CDF. And as you can see here, we are way more efficient on the long side than the short side. As to be expected, as the S&P 500 have been in a bullish trend for most of the year. And this starts from the beginning of this year. So,
I'm going to have a lot to say about that tomorrow, so stay tuned. Go ahead.
And in this case, what you may want to avoid would be bearish signals of this indicator, because they don't work as well. Maybe perhaps just focus on the long side, as evidenced by these statistics. Okay. All right. So now the last indicator, and I know it's a bit rushed. Actually, just one more thing. I also applied the cloud to USD CAD. Here it's the opposite. The Canadian dollar has been in a downtrend over the last month, more or less. And you can see the efficiency on the downside is higher than on the long side. And last but not least, for this indicator, here we have Bitcoin. And you can see it works actually really well on both sides of the Bitcoin symbol. Why? Because it's very volatile. And there are many reversals, up and down with this symbol. And this indicator is made for these kind of price action. So you will get really good efficiencies for these kind of symbols. And finally, and I know I'm running out of time, we have our breakout indicator. It's called Volatility Crusher. And this is actually my favorite one. Why? Well, because it's kind of a scalping indicator. You go for little profits, you get an entry signal here. Profit is not far off, and then the second profit target is up here. And you're in and out of the trade fairly often. And it's exciting. It's a fun way to trade, but more importantly, there's really good success statistics. Mind you that often our profit targets are closer than the stop loss, and we use a trading stop here. So you need to be way above 50% to make it profitable. But it's just, you get this good feeling. You get so many winners in a row. It has really good entry signals, and you will get to the long and short side a high probability of having a successful trade.
Daniel, is it a 15-minute chart you have it on?
That's a 5-minute chart, Euro USD 5-minute.
So, like during a 24-hour day cycle, 5-minute chart, what's the average amount of signals this will?
You get one trade on average. So
you get one trade a day?
One trade a day, give or take, yes.
Okay, so, and the average pip target for that?
It's all configurable. So these are all parameters. So I think it's 40% from entry. Oh, so entry is here, and then 40%, it's 40%
of risk. 40%
of this box here, and there's some documentation which will come with it. Okay. And then we have 100% of the size of this breakout box, as we call it. And the stop loss is typically at the other end of the box, initially at least. And then we have a trailing stop.
So it's basically 40% of the box.
For the first target, and then for the second, it's a bit further out.
So these boxes are just because I can't really see on the scale. What does that look like? Is it a 20 pip box, 30 pip box? What is that?
Yeah, give or take. I can quickly measure this, but this of course depends on which. No, it's a 10 real pip box.
10 pip box. Okay.
10, 11.
So on a 5-minute chart, I was going to ask you one other question. Is this an indicator that generates, like if you went to hourly or 4-hour charts, obviously you're going to have much less frequency, but is the accuracy increase, is the efficiency increase, or is it relatively fractal?
It depends on the symbol. So some symbols, it's just steady across the board on any time frame. On some symbols, it doesn't work as well, but but you can just very easily see it on these statistics here by just dragging in a new symbol. Right. And for example, here you see right away on the Dow 30, it's not working as well, at least not with the parameters chosen.
Right. So that was the other symbol was what? The euro?
Euro USD on 5-minute.
Well, what about NASDAQ? Do you have NASDAQ up there? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Actually, it works really well on the SPY, but a NASDAQ, yeah, very good. Very high proficiency.
Well, because I had a feeling because what this is an indicator that sort of like is dear to my heart. It trades continuity and breakout, which is if you find an instrument that has continuity and breakout, this is a very applicable.
And Boris, it's just one more thing, and this is part of the promotion that we are offering. Is I have created for each of these indicators an EA, an expert advisor that comes with it. Right. Which basically trades these signals and exits when the exit signals occur. And just to show you, after some optimization, what kind of results these EAs can create. This is the same chart, 5 minutes on the Euro USD. Right. You will see it just it can generate amazing signals and 99 trades with a two profit factor. It's very nice. So of course. Part of our promotion, let me maybe go back to my slides and I'm almost done.
That's okay.
Yeah. Is that only today and only for the duration of this Trader Fest and maybe 1 or 2 days after, we're going to give away these EAs. That's something I usually don't do.
That's a ridiculous offer, by the way. Nobody gives away. Daniel basically is saying, I'm going to write these indicators, which everybody can write an indicator. And then the EA, which actually is the piece of software that places the trades for you, the really hardest piece of software, he's giving that away for free to you. It's a ridiculous software. If you're not taking advantage of this, you're already making a big mistake. So go do it.
Yeah. So all these indicators, they have our instant statistics or efficiency statistics, the little box that you've seen, and we've bundled them up actually into a product offering which is called the Power Bundle 360, which contains exactly these 3 indicators. Or trend indicator, the counter trend indicator, and the breakout indicator, the volatility crusher. And if you take advantage of it, you will not only, I'm just going to jump ahead real quick, you will not only get a 20% discount today of the price of the bundle, but if you decide to go for it before June 27, you will receive these 3 EAs for free. But this offer will expire because I don't really like to give away my EAs because that's my bread and butter. That's why I see my edge, because I'm maybe just like Boris, a bit of a nervous trader. So I'm much more comfortable if my trades are executed by my EAs. So but I will give these EAs for free. If you go for the bundle, all you need to do is to go to our website, which is tradingindicators.com, and you either navigate on this website to the MT4 product offerings, or you go to tradingindicators.com/power, power for power bundle, and you go for while you purchase the power bundle. Once you've done this, I will contact you separately by email afterwards, and I will send you the EAs by email along with an introduction to them and how to use them. And you get 20% off. Well, that's our little pitch. Yes.
And I will send you guys the link of all of this. When we put together the whole keepsake package for you, the thank you keepsake package, we'll have those links for you, so that you can have access to all of this stuff with the discount code and everything else. So it's awesome. Daniel, thank you so much. Daniel's amazing. Okay, really, I work with him every day. He's an amazing person and a really great programmer. This is great. I'm going to get all of these. I'm going to run them. As he said, they can be used both as single execution ideas or as complementary to whatever it is that you're doing. And
yeah. And maybe just one note. I noticed most of the people are more interested in Forex trading, but we've have these indicators available for TradingView and Ninja Trader, where you can trade futures and equities, and they work quite nice on these instruments as well. Maybe even better than for Forex. Yeah. Because you have a true notion of volume, which you don't have in Forex. And if this is, you combine volume, true volume, you tend to get even better signals.
Right. Remember what Rob Booker was talking about earlier, where he was talking about gaps. This is like a sort of a quantitative version of Rob's idea, because remember, he's also looking for volume, and he was also looking for trend box breakout effectively, because a box breakout is what a gap breakout is also. So you could use these indicators in conjunction with what Rob was doing on the scanner, and kind of combine the best of both worlds from all these traders. So I hope you guys really enjoy it.